Jawas are well loved by fans of Star Wars, but their history and appearance are very mysterious to us. There has never been a canonical reveal of what they look like under their hoods, and after doing a little bit of research on their origins, it turns out that Jawas are more interesting than I thought. There is more information about Jawas in Legends than in canon. I don't like to discount Legends because a lot of it was approved by George Lucas before selling the franchise to Disney, and Disney does occasionally reach into Legends lore for their new canon stories. In this video, I will be covering 8 interesting facts about Jawas, and I'll let you know on the screen whether the information is from canon or from Legends. Number 1. Appearance and identification. Jawas were easily identifiable by their traditional brown hooded robes. They had glowing amber-colored eyes, small stature, and a high-pitched, quickly spoken language called Jawais. The original Star Wars novelization describes Jawas as rodent-like and compares them to de-evolved humans. On screen, the only revealing characteristic that can be seen is their extremely furry arms. Jawas had a musky, animal-like odor and used their scent as a part of their language. In 1998, the first Star Wars visual dictionary was published and stated, "Their rodent-like faces were remarkably ugly." Wow. Number 2. Origins. The origins of Jawas in canon is that they were simply native to Tatooine, and Jawas who migrated from Tatooine were simply referred to as off-world Jawas. In Legends, however, their origin story is much more interesting. The Jawas were originally descendants of the Kamumga species, which used to live on Tatooine long before the planet was ever a desert. The Kamumga were technologically advanced, eventually developed spaceflight, and began to colonize other worlds. But by doing so, they got the unwanted attention of the Rakata, who conquered, enslaved, and absorbed them into their infinite empire, destroying their cities and exploiting their resources. The Kamumga eventually rebelled against the Rakata, but they were brutally punished for this. The Rakata bombed the entire surface of Tatooine from orbit and completely destroyed it, turning the surface into glass. Over centuries, the glass crumbled and eventually became desert sand. During this time, the destruction and extreme climate change forced the Kamumga to take shelter underground, living for years in the dark. The Kamumga then evolved into 2 races, the Gorfas and the Jawas. Jawas evolved several important survival traits, such as exceptional night vision and a strong immune system. Once resurfaced, the Jawas wore a shroud of cloth to retain moisture, hide their identity, and dissipate their body heat. The polished orange gemstones that were embedded in the fabric that covered their faces protected the Jawas' sensitive vision from the bright sunlight. Number 3. Jawa culture. Jawas were passionate and opportunistic scavengers, a practice that allowed them to survive by forming a codependent circle of trade with the locals. Jawas were usually the first on scene of a crashed starship and could be found lurking at pod racing tracks in order to haul away debris from crashed pod racers. The Jawas would collect, refurbish, and sell the scraps to the local residents. However, they developed a reputation for swindling their customers, sometimes selling faulty equipment and droids to unsuspecting buyers. Moisture farmers were less than confident in the quality of the goods that the Jawas offered, but they purchased them anyway because it was difficult to find a better selection of equipment in their remote locations. Sometimes Jawas would even steal things that caught their eye, causing some to regard them as untrustworthy. Presumably, they used the money made from their dealings to acquire supplies or other necessities. Number 4. Equipment and technology. The physically superior and highly aggressive Sand People would often attack the Jawas. Needing a place to be safe from their attackers, the Jawas traveled through the desert and transported their droids in sandcrawler transports, vehicles that were abandoned by defunct mining companies on Tatooine. The Jawas used them as mobile bases, fitting an entire clan and repair shop inside. The use of the sandcrawlers radically changed Jawa civilization, serving as a mobile fortress and a safer means of searching the desert for materials to scavenge. This was a testament to the Jawa abilities of discovering unusual and unorthodox methods for making things work. Jawas eventually had a more peaceful relationship with the Tusken Raiders. However, the Jawas preferred to avoid them when possible due to their unpredictable behavior. Jawas rarely carried weapons due to their passive nature. However, they did rely on ion blasters that shot beams of energy to disable droids, and restraining bolts for keeping them under control. Jawas also carried around various tools for repairing droids inside the sandcrawlers. They were adept at designing and creating custom droids for the specific needs of a customer, made from various spare parts of other droids. Number 5. Language. A Jawa could often speak in their native Jawa'ese and their simpler Jawa trade language. Jawa'ese utilize scent as well as spoken words to convey meaning, making it nearly impossible for outsiders to understand. This order held information such as other Jawas' identity, health, clan lineage, last meal, maturity, arousal, and even their mood. The Jawa trade language removed the use of scent and was more easily learned by other species that commonly dealt with the Jawa traders. The Jawa did not bathe, seeing it as a waste of precious water, and were known for their potent and repulsive odor. The Jawa also reeked of the solution that they soaked their clothes in order to retain moisture. Number 6. Societal structure. Jawas lived in separate clan families, each with separate territories for living and scavenging. Each sandcrawler was led by a male clan chief, and the overall Jawa clan was overseen by a female shaman. The title of shaman gave female Jawa a great deal of respect throughout the clan, which was strange in the largely patriarchal Jawa society where female Jawas were shown very little respect. A female Jawa could become a shaman by possessing a natural force ability with which to perform magic, or by being chosen and trained as the successor to the current shaman. The shaman had the ability to foretell the future and perform spells and hexes. Having this important position within the society meant that the shaman did not travel in the sandcrawler and instead remained within the safety of the clan's fortress with the remaining Jawas. Their fortress, nestled deep in the desert, was where they collected their wares and where their Jawa children would be born and grow safely. The fortresses had high walls for protection against sand people, crate dragons, and Tatooine's sandstorms. Once a year, all the Jawa clans would gather in the Dune Sea for their annual swap meet to exchange their salvage, compare navigational data, and arrange marriages. Adhering to their scavenger ways, it was common for clans to trade their sons and daughters through an intense trade agreement known as marriage merchandise. Fun fact: Jawas found it acceptable to consummate their marriages in public. Number 7. Jawas across the galaxy. Ships traveling to and from Tatooine led to some of the more adventurous Jawas' migration to other planets, where they continued their obsession with scavenging technology where possible. The Jawas traveled to worlds such as Ryloth, Florum, Raxus Prime, Genon, Coruscant, Arkin 4, and Navarro. A popular drink known as Jawa juice existed in the galaxy, although it was not made from or by Jawas. The drink is mentioned in Attack of the Clones when Obi-Wan is offered a cup of Jawa juice at a Coruscant diner. Jawa juice originated on Tatooine and was made of bantha hides mashed with fermented grains. Yum.
You want a cup of Jawa juice?
Oh yes, thank you.
Number 8. Behind the scenes. In the behind the scenes footage from Return of the Jedi, the Jawas are seen having squarish heads covered in black cloth with large yellow eyes that appear mechanical. However, this is a costume and may not represent their canonical appearance. The Jawas were played by 12 local children, including the producer's daughter. And there you have it, 8 interesting facts about Jawas. What do you think about the Jawas now? Let us know in the comments if you learned something new and what you'd like to learn about next. If you enjoyed this video, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more videos like this one. Thanks for watching, and may the Force be with you.